Let's go. That's how you like to see him eat it, Jeff. You're just dumb. Just curious. Oh, that's a fat one. Holy moly. Think that one's been eaten, Jeff?
Oh, God.
All right, shallow football jigs. Look at the gut on that sucker. Dude, when they start moving up, and they have just been gorging. I mean, just ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Shallow football head jig. It's such a sick way to catch them. Look at the size of that thing. God, he ain't long, but he is a stud. Dumb. All right, back he goes. See, that's like a 4-pound fish.
Right.
It's like 14 inches long. All right, sayonara, buddy. All right, one of my favorite ways to fish is with a jig, Jeff. And I feel like a jig has lost a lot of notoriety over the years with live scope.
Yeah.
It used to be, you know, back when I was tournament fishing,
How many years ago?
just a couple. It used to be, you know, a jig was thought of as a way to get your biggest bite, right? And I feel like a lot of guys have just kind of lost sight of a jig. But, you know, a jig is an amazing shallow water tool on days like today. You know, it's spring, it's warm, the fish should be moving up, but it's glass calm. So, you know, we want to be power fishing. We want to be throwing, chucking and winding, right? But it's just a little too calm for a spinnerbait, chatterbait. So fishing a football jig power fishing style is an amazing way to get bit. I'm going to break it down and show you guys how to do it. Oh, fuck. I had one following it. Swear to God. When it was actually somewhere? Yes. Oh my God, dude, that was stupid. I love it. Could you see what just happened right there, Jeff? A stud. Smoked it. Pay attention. That's all I could say. He wanted a little bit of a burst. So I got a little bit of a burst and he charged it. I dropped it back down. Boom, smacked it. So dumb. I'll take luck anytime I can get it. Thank you, buddy. God, a healthy little fish, huh? All right. Thanks, dude. Later. Dude. That was ridiculous. I love it. I love it. Right where he should have been. Smoked. All right. That's how you like to see him eat it, Jeff. Just made a little trailer change. Started with that Fire Craw Cowboy. Switched up to 4-inch Dolive Beaver. God, he's got it. There we go. 4-inch Dolive Beaver. Nice. Fat, chunky dude. Hell yeah. Such a fun bite, Jeff. 9 million fish with it. That's a good. Nice. That's a good one. He's maybe too big to boat flip. Oh, God, that thing is fat. Whew. Look at that one, dude. You talk about a short, fat sucker. Whew. That's a nice one. Boom. Jig with the beaver. Oh, I told you I was going to break it down, but I just had to get another one, Jeff. I'm glad I did. All right, now I'll break it down. Oof. All right, buddy. Jeff, that's the shortest 5-pounder I think I've ever caught. And you'd think I was crazy if you didn't feel it. Okay. Okay. It was mad, but I'm happy. Yes. So sick.
There's 1,000 times. But there's hundreds.
They're everywhere.
No.
Oh. Oh. Dude, these short 3 and 4 pounders are so shocking. Dude, they love that thing. They love that thing in the shallows. Dirty. So dumb, dude. It's so fun, isn't it? It's so fun. All right. Sayonara. I don't even know what to say, Jeff. It's a good... I don't know what. So many little bushes down there. Oh, good God, man. I didn't think he's going to be that big. Oh, freaking brute. He is just a freaking tank there, Jeff. You think he wanted it? Jeff, I guarantee you, this is the smallest 5-pounder you've ever held in your life.
I mean, look at that thing, dude.
Does it look 5 pounds to you?
No.
Feel it.
No, it does not.
Okay, you got it? It's literally got tungsten in it. Like, I don't even get it.
Dude, you have to be joking.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right.
Look at the frame on that thing. Look at the fatness.
Well, everybody else is running 1-pounders on reaction. I can't even get it. I got a plier. Got it so good. Oh my God.
I can't believe you bounced it.
If I can't either, I thought it was a 3-pounder until it was midway up. Look at that.
Dude, look how that fish is. Dude, the tail thickness.
Dude,
Ooh.
early season jig fish are just the best. Thank you, buddy.
Wow.
Look at that.
Dude,
You're just
hold it
dumb.
right there. Oh my God.
It's got the build of a world record.
Literally.
Just about a third of the length. All right.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
Holy.
Wow.
Look how fat that thing is.
It's so stupid. All right, buddy.
Happy to go back.
Dude, it's insane. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, so let me break this down. Now, I know that all of you know a football jig, right? We've been throwing football jigs forever and ever and ever. And essentially all I'm talking about today is shallow water power fishing it. Typically, when you think of a football jig, or at least when I think of a football jig, I'm thinking offshore structure. I'm thinking about throwing it down a point or across a reef. And the idea behind the football is that, you know, that football shaped head allow it to kind of bang around through rocks. But something that I've, you know, done my entire life is, you know, when the fish want to be shallow, and they are shallow, but typical reaction isn't happening. You know, it's been almost glass calm all day. There's been quite a lot of boat pressure out here. So, you know, they've seen a lot of spinner baits. They've seen a lot of chatterbaits. They're seeing a lot of the same type of reaction, but they're still going to set up in places. I find that, you know, kind of power fishing and shore fishing this football jig is a great way to do it. Now, I'm choosing a football jig because the areas that I'm fishing are kind of rock and wood. It's a mix, a lot of rock. If you guys are fishing areas that are full of sand, full of grass, you should still try the football jig, but you may find that you do better with a casting style or an archy style. But I find that the football head is nice because you can hop it just like you would a traditional jig, or a lot of times I'm throwing shallow and I'm just kind of swimming it almost like a crankbait and allowing that football to just kind of bounce around and bang around the bottom the same way you would slow roll a spinner bait or bang a crankbait around. Now, for me, tons of good football jigs, but for this style, when we're talking about, you know, real power fishing, the two that I personally prefer is I like the Dirty Jigs football and I like the Keitech Crankin football. Okay, so today I was throwing the Keitech Crankin football. The Dirty Jigs football is another one. That's the one that was a staple for me forever when I was fishing Mexico all the time and guiding down in Mexico. Those are my two favorites, mainly because of the land ratio, right? That's how I gauge my jigs. Do they get bit and do I get them in the boat? And both of these are great at both of those things. Now, the Keitech Crankin football is a little different shape. It's got a little flatter face, almost like a crankbait would, so it has a little bit of shimmy built into it, and it really comes through the rocks great. You can just literally just crank it in and it works fantastic. It's got a great Ryugi hook back there. I didn't lose a single fish today, knock on something, right? So it's perfect for that. Now, as far as trailers go, a 4-inch OSP Dolive Beaver is my standard trailer. Okay, and I like this because if I'm just hopping it, I get that movement of the bait, but if I'm swimming it, I also get that movement of the bait, and it's really compact, right? So it's relatively finesse. It's not a lot of movement. So when they really get shy, it's kind of like the perfect, you know, mix of action, but not too much action. There's also something magical about the Dolive Beaver plastic, right? They just flat eat it. So this is my go-to combo. Now the other trailer that I like a lot is the Yamamoto Cowboy. Okay, so the Cowboy is basically just a double tail grub, but it's a big double tail grub. So it's got a lot of movement to it. So this is actually what I started with. Started with the Cowboy because the water's a little funky. So I thought, you know what, they probably want a lot of action. And, you know, I got bit a couple times pretty quick, but then I saw that they were actually following it, right? So we had that one that kind of followed it. So then it made me think, well, there's something about this that's not exactly right. Could have been color, but I went with action first, and that's what we got. Now, that's probably one of the ugliest jigs, actually, that as far as color combinations go, right? It's green pumpkin, there's some red, there's some orange, there's chartreuse. But this time of the year when your water's a little funky and the fish are just moving up, they like this kind of crazy color combination. So don't be afraid to give them a little pop. So again, there's the football jig, 1/2 ounce and 3/4. Okay, so 3/4 is normally my go-to. I'll go to 1/2 ounce if I feel like it's just getting snagged too much. I like the heavier weight because it allows me to control it a lot more, but you guys can just kind of gauge whichever one you prefer. Now, okay, as far as gear goes, this is important. So, you know, usually when I'm offshore and throwing a football jig, I'm throwing on the FMJ. I love the FMJ for offshore, you know, shallow or offshore deep, you know, slack line sensitivity. Love the Destroyer P5 FMJ for that. But in this shallow stuff, I could throw it also, but so many of these fish, you're actually not needing to feel, right? So many of these fish, you're just kind of pulling over things and your line just starts moving. So, you know, the last few good ones that we saw, I didn't really feel any of it, just the line started moving. So for that, I prefer a longer rod and a more powerful rod, but also a rod that bends a little bit, because sometimes if your line moves and you didn't catch up to it and you swing, sometimes there's a little bit of slack in your line. And if your rod's too fast and you set the hook on that slack, a lot of times that fluorocarbon will pop and you'll break fish off. So I like my rod to be just a touch softer but stronger. So I like the Destroyer P5 BMG. This has been kind of my go-to for shallow water power fishing. This is the same rod I use for mag drafts. This is the same rod I use for mag draft freestyles, for swim jigs, all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of you guys live in the south, live in grassy areas where you're throwing a lot of swim jigs. If you throw them on fluoro and you risk the chance of having that slack line hook set, I would recommend checking out the BMG. It's an amazing rod that you land the fish, right? And that's the biggest thing. 20-pound Sunline Shooter, right? Never sniper, right? Shooter. Daiwa Steez A. I'm going with an 8-to-1 on this because it's something that I'm fishing on the bottom, and because when the fish start moving, I want to be able to wind down and pick up the slack and hit them hard. And you can literally just crack the whip with this thing. So, you know, next time you guys find yourself in a situation where the fish are either just moving up, or you know they're there and you know they should be eating things like a crankbait, a spinnerbait, jerkbait, but you weren't gifted that day, right? You were gifted, you know, bluebird skies and sun and calm and pressure. Maybe try the power jig fishing technique and see if that can put some good fish in the boat for you guys. So enjoy. If you guys have any questions, you know where to reach me. Until next time, peace out.